So starting with our Raglan Jersey top, and this features in a few of our different patterns, so it's a really good basic wardrobe essential to get done and dusted and have a little talk about. We've got our two pieces of jersey, one Ponte Roma, which is slightly heavier, and one jersey. And as I said, the front and back parts are in the purple, the arms and the neckband are in the teal. There isn't a pattern piece for the neck trim, so we will be freehand cutting that, and we're going to talk about the way jersey stretches. So let's just start with our front and back panels with the purple. So as you can see, this pattern piece is for the front and the back, and there's a fold line here. So all we need to do is cut that twice on the fold. So jersey has stretch in different directions. If you pull it up and down, you'll find that it's not as stretchy as if you go side to side. So for this pattern, what we want to do is we want the stretch to run from side to side around Dolly's chest and around her back. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to simply fold that over. My pattern piece is going to pop upside down, of course, because I'm right-handed. And just get some good economy on the material so that we don't have to cut away too much. Now we're only going to cut two of these, so already you can see how much spare material there's going to be. Typically I haven't bought any scissors with me. There we go. Scissors, essential item number 1. Pins or pattern weights, essential item number 2. So we're just going to pop that straight line on the fold. If I pop the pattern over, you'll see that fold marking there. So just pop a few pins in. And we've got the hem at the bottom, the neckline here, the bit that goes under the arm, and then this is where we'll attach our raglan sleeve. So let's just cut two of those out and I'll meet you back here. Right, that's those two cut out, and if I just unfold them, you should start to see the front of a jersey. So they're exactly the same, the pattern pieces. One is the front, one is the back. Neckline, hemline, underarm, and this is where we're going to attach the arms. So talking about the arms, if we pop those over there and we bring down our teal, we're really going to do pretty much the same on this piece of teal. Now again, it stretches more this way than it does that way, and that's how you'll tell how you have the fabric around. For the neckband that we're going to have to cut from this piece, we actually need the neckband to be cut with the most stretch. So that is going to be this direction. Now the measurement for the neckband is 16 by 3 centimeters. So if we leave 3 centimeters clear all the way across the top, we'll get our band from there. And then our sleeves should fit nicely on underneath, one there and one there. And again, it's on the fold. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold that one over, pop the pattern piece on, come down to the bottom so that you've got lots left at the top. We're going to pin that one. I prefer to use pattern weights with jersey, in all honesty, in case the sharpness of the pins pierces the weave, makes a hole. That's not very good, that's run off the edge there. Okay, slight adjustment. It's always good to look after you've pinned just to make sure everything's where you expect it to be. Pop our shears in there and cut one. Oops. And we're just going to repeat for the second and then cut the neckband. Here we are, we've got our two sleeves in our neckband, and as you can see, if I pull the neckband this way, loads of stretch. If I pull the neckband, excuse me, if I pull the neckband across the short way, not as much stretch. So it's really important to get that orientation right on the fabric cut. Now essentially, what's going to happen is we are going to pop our pieces together like this. Okay, so we've got arm front, arm back, and then when we've secured all those together, we're going to bring these sides together Squash it up, and it will look like a circle. Then what we're going to do is we're going to sew the underarm, because this will be like this and this will be like this. With right sides together, we're going to sew the underarm and down to the hem all as one, and then the neckline is going to sit in there. So let's talk about stretch stitch. Stretch stitch on your machine, there's a couple of different ways to do this. If I come onto the back of the pattern piece to show you. So a stretch stitch will look like a lightning bolt, like that. So that is a proper stretch stitch, and obviously it uses this part of the stitch here to give some bend and flex, so you know it could end up like that when it's pulled, but it will always shrink back to being like that when it's not pulled. Alternatively, you can use a normal zigzag stitch, that's perfectly fine. And if you're really super sticky swisho and you've got an overlocker, then this is the perfect thing to be using on that. The only disadvantage of an overlocker is it can't really be unpicked. So if you do make a slight mistake, you've also, if you've got the cutters on, you've lost the seam allowance to be able to go back and redo it. So I'm afraid it is a recut. So there we go. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to use the stretch stitch and the front of our jersey and one of the arms with right sides together. Got the wrong arm. With right sides together, we're just going to fold that there, and we're going to sew this seam. Hello. Right, we're back at my machine, and if I lift up my stitch section, you can see that number 18 is that lightning bolt stretch stitch. So that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm literally just going to program mine in, and we'll get sewing. New tripod means you can have a better view of what I'm doing. How exciting. And yes, my machine is super old. I've had it since I was 13. I absolutely love it. It's my second child. And I could give it a clean if I was so inclined, but there we go. So what I'm going to do is placing the work in the machine. Let's see if I can get you a bit closer. There we go. Right, I've got the stretch stitch deployed, and as normal, yes, I am using a funky colour thread. That's so you can see what I'm doing. Obviously, you pick a thread that suits what you're doing. So that machine is just going to do that stretch stitch all the way along. The seam allowance is keeping the edge of your foot alongside the edge of the work. Just going to blast up here. Fantastic. And take the work out. Now, can we see the stitch? There we go. So you can see it's a little zigzag. And when we look at it from this side, we've got some nice stretch. So that is going to be perfect. If you use a straight stitch, then as soon as the jersey is stretched, the likelihood is that it will snap. So I'm just going to do my second one. It's quite a slow sew, this stitch. Be careful, incidentally, be careful not to stretch your fabric too much as you sew this. Mainly because it will spring back into shape when you're finished. And you'll end up with rucks, wibbly wobbly lines. So just another little look at that stitch. That's good. Okay, so by joining all of those together, you can see you've got something resembling a t-shirt. Now what we're going to do is taking the arms and the side, we're going to match these up, and we're going to sew to this corner. Then we're going to put our needle down, lift our foot up, pivot our work, and we're going to go down this straight edge. So you can all watch me do that. So I move the machine forward, and I'll move you like that. Perfect. Hey, I'm loving this new stand. This is great. Before it was a bit of a contraption of fabric tubes, you know, the cardboard from the inners of the fabric tubes, and some sandbags and a bit of a prayer, wing and a prayer. So here we go, we're going down the arms again with that stretch stitch. Check on our progress. Right, when you get here you want to open this seam flat, okay, not roll it to one side, open it flat. And I've just reached where the two colours intersect. So I'm going to pop my needle down in my work, lift up the presser foot on the machine, and we're going to pop it back down again and come down this seam. There we go. Right, so we're going to repeat that on the other side. There we go. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So using the other arm in exactly the same way. Fiddly. There we go. Up to the centre, flatten that out and down to the hem. Now, while we're here, we should talk about our neckband. So here's the neckband that I cut, 16 centimetres by 3. And what we're going to do is fold it so that the short ends are together. And we're just going to use stretch stitch to make that into a ring. So let's join that. Perfect, and this is going to form our neckband. So the neckband technique is quite easy. What we're going to do, you've got this lovely ring of fabric now. There we go, and that's our neckband. Now, what we want to do is just open this seam out a bit flatter. There we go, and we're going to fold it in half so that our ring of fabric is half the width that it was all the way around. Okay, so the seam is on the inside and that's like that. So join me in a moment and I'll just finish off seaming the sides and the underarms of my jersey, and then we'll come back and we'll put the neckband on. So here's little Dolly's jersey so far. I've turned it out the right way out and we're going to talk about the neckline. Right, so what I suggest you do is grab 4 pins, and we've got the front and the back of our top. So we're going to make sure that the band that we folded in half for the neckline, that the centre back seam, so this little one here where we join the ring, goes to the centre back of the raglan top. Now we're going to pass the neckline with the right sides together over there. So we've just popped one inside the other, if you can see. So working at the back, we're going to pop that all the raw seams together. So open the neck into a circle, pop that one there at the back, and this time we're going to pin through all the layers, but we're actually going to leave the pins sticking out so the sharp end faces in. We're going to do the centre front is going to go roughly to the centre front of the raglan top, and again we're going to pin so that the sharp end's facing into the work and the blunt end is not. And then when we get to the shoulders, we're going to do the same. So you can see there's enough to go round, and that's what we're going to sew. Just pop round and do the opposite shoulder. It does help to stretch it out, but don't stretch it too much because you'll distort it. Light handling is the name of the game here. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew in this direction, and we're going to sew here. So we're going to sew all of our raw edges together. Just bring the machine in. Live for the first time anywhere. We'll try this. So pop that in there. I'm going to remove that first pin, put a couple of stitches in, just so we can see what we're doing. Needle down, and then basically you want to work in quarters. So take a quarter at a time, stretching the jersey to fit. Just going up to that pin. There we are. Take that pin out and we'll do the next quarter. Making sure we've got everything. Opening up that seam. And by doing it in quarters, you give yourself time to see what's coming under the needle. Make a slight adjustment, because it is a fabric that moves. So it's just pacing yourself, and then we're just about to come back now to where we started. So take that final pin out. What's going on with all my seams here? Am I going to be able to open them out? I think I might have already sewn over that one. Slowly, slowly wins the race. Perfect. We're round. So, and there you see, you've done your first neckline. Amazing. Look at that. So other than the hemming on the ends of the arms and the hem, we're done. We'll trim off all the little threads. We'll take away anything we don't need. And then we'll turn the jersey inside out. Now, jersey doesn't fray, so you've got two options here. We're now inside out, we're talking about the hem. You can either do one fold and a line of stitching, which will be absolutely adequate, perfectly fine, or if you're a neat freak, you can do a second one and you can do a rolled hem. But essentially you're just going to sew round it in the round. So I am going to choose to do the first fold because I'm a bit anti the bulk. For Dolly, it tends to stick out a bit too far. So we're just going to turn up 1 centimetre. There we go. We're just going to turn up 1 centimetre, pop it into the machine, start and finish at the back centre, and we're literally going to stitch close to the edge but not on the edge of the jersey, and we're going to go all the way around. Now this is called sewing in the round. Got a bit of a situation going on there. Make sure you're not catching anything underneath. That's why I keep stopping to push it out of the way. In fact, if we do that, it'll be well out of the way. Keeping your stitches nice and even, being careful not to pull the fabric through, because again it will stretch. will also stretch if you hold it back from going through the machine too much. So I guess really the thing to do is to just let the machine take the lead here. Over the seam. So I'm on the edge of the raw edge, but not actually over the edge. I'm just meeting up with where we started. Bingo! And that is the hem. So all you need to do is exactly the same on the ends of the arms, and your raglan top is finished. Ta-ta! Brilliant. Let me know how you get on with yours, and we'll go on to the next step, which is the dungarees.